everybody, what's crack-a-lackin'? Hey, yeah, I need a 5 for 5 in there if I could. And, yeah, if you could, please share the stream out. I would much appreciate it. It would, that's really what helps us get this out to everybody the best. And, I appreciate all the help everybody's already given with that. But I would like to, ask you guys to do that again. This is actually a fairly significant event going on that I really want to talk about, because this is one of those things we can talk about and kind of at least show people why it is important to kind of prepare for things like this. You know, we just coming off of this big G5 storm. It is definitely whatever it is. But listen, I did get a comment saying that I sounded like I was like screaming. So I brought the decibel level down. Is it any better? Does it sound any better to everybody? I did notice that even on my TV, I had to turn it down more than what I would have. So I did bring the dBs down on that. If I need to bring it down some more, please let me know. I don't want it to sound all crackly and just tinny, like, you know, just, it was like the gain was up too far, and the overall volume for my mic on my computer was actually, like 200% jacked up. So, is it better now? Okay, good. Thanks, Jammer. Appreciate you, bud. In case people don't know, Jammer does the ham radio thing, so he knows all about these X-flares. These X-flares will definitely affect ham radio propagation. And there's actually, I might be able to show you guys, there's a map. There is a model that shows the ham radio operators connecting from one to another. And it shows when they get disrupted from like flares and things like that. Because they lose signal. I got it from, I was watching Tamitha Skove, Dr. Tamitha Skove. Please check her channel out. If you don't know who she is, you probably, if you watched me for any length of time, you already know who she is. But with that being said, I do want to always shout people like that out, because it's very good information. She's very intelligent. She knows what she's talking about. I can't say enough good things about that. She always teaches me something every single time I watch her. And I'm not just saying that. That is a fact. And that says two things: that she's good at what she's doing, and that I have a lot to learn. And I hope that everybody kind of sees that. And, you know, I do like to just, you know, do this kind of thing and just show people that, hey, I'm learning right along with you guys, you know. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Angel Wings, for the gifted membership. Who got that one? Karen Myers. Welcome to the Kool-aid Krew. Well, I think you were already there. Let me see. Nope. So you are now part of the Kool-aid Krew. Awesome. And speaking to the Kool-aid Krew directly right now, I need to know, and I'll ask again later on right before I end this stream, whether or not you want me to do a members-only stream right after this. And I don't really want to do that because Marf is going to be on. So I would rather wait until tomorrow. I had my nephew had a program at school, and I had forgotten it was today. So that's why everything's kind of a little bit more late. I just got home about an hour ago. So I was trying to throw things together and and all that kind of thing. Family always comes first to me, guys, and that's where I went and took care of that. So I wouldn't miss things on that end of it for nothing, just to be honest. That's the most important thing we can do, is be there for our family and show support, especially to our kids, nephews, families, whatever. But I'll probably just wait till tomorrow. I will do tomorrow. If you guys want, members, let me know. I'm trying to hit all time zones eventually. So I need to know whether if you guys want me to do two separate ones, one in the morning, one at night, or in the evening sometime, or if one in the evening is probably going to be the best thing for me. That's about what I can promise you. And again, guys, we have a lot of fun in those things. I've only had like 2 or 3. But there's something else that I forgot to mention yesterday. Yesterday's video was my 1,000th video that I made. So, yeah. Yeah. I didn't ever anticipate anything like that, and I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. But I want to give a special thanks to all those that have been with me from the beginning or just from the time that they found the channel. I really do consider that just an honor to be able to say that people want to hear what I'm talking about and what I'm saying. I'm very humbled by it. And for me to have made 1,000 videos is crazy to me. There were a time where I was just kind of, you know, it probably would have got there sooner, but I took like 6 months off from the channel. A while back. I was just kind of posting one every 2 weeks or something like that. I don't ever plan to do that again, but live streaming makes it a little bit easier, believe it or not, guys, because we don't have to edit the video. We live stream and we roll with it. So that's where we're at. So I'm glad the sound's better, but guys, I'm going to put out a post for members. Look for that post, members, because I'm going to get your guys' opinion on what you want me to do. But if I do nothing else tomorrow, it's going to be a members only stream. Okay. I just want to point that out. I put it off all last week because of what was going on, and I'm not going to do that again. So, anyway, space weather. Sorry guys. I know I had a lot to talk about there at the beginning. I was not squirreling. I just needed to get that information out there to you. Okay. So we have an X-flare, 5 of them in like 24 hours. And I started talking about this yesterday, right? Remember I said these sunspots over here? This one here really was not concerning me a whole lot. I mean, it did a little, and I use that word concern very loosely there. I'm not concerned about a whole lot of things, guys. I don't get scared or anything like that. But what I will say, this right here, this sunspot, I believe, actually made the whole trip around. I think this is one of those sunspots that was a sympathetic sunspot. When it was here the first time in the ear strike zone, and there was another sunspot up here, they were both about the same size, and they were sympathetic, which means they were communicating in such an instantaneous and real time that they would erupt at the same exact time. And if you remember me talking yesterday about X-ray, right? That is a big flare right there. Okay, that was a long duration one. It just kept going. So that most definitely produced CME, right? We had this one over here yesterday also, and today producing more X-flares, firing CMEs in the danger zone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I talked about that too. Our connection to the sun, our magnetic connection, is on this side. So any CMEs that gets fired that direction, it does have a chance of picking up all those protons. And I've actually seen, and it's not really all that rare, we've seen almost complete backside eruptions, big ones, right? And it fanned out enough that it actually, in our magnetic field line, was kind of towards the back on this side where our connection was at that time. And the protons got picked up from the backside of the sun. And it gave us a radiation storm from a blast on the backside. So that should tell you that that's an amazing thing to happen. That is not something that you would really consider, you know. Most people would say, well, if it went off the backside, it ain't going to hit us. Well, that's true with the CME part, but it ain't true for the protons, the radiation storm part. Okay? So it affected us. And yes, it was a very large eruption to have that happen. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't just a little fart on the other side of the sun. But this, you know, this right here, guys, I think, you know, this one, it was here, and there was another sunspot here. They both fired at the same time, and it produced an X-flare with both of them. The X-rays combined from that got us to like an X.3, an X3 flare, I think it was. And it also produced I'm not sure if it produced much of a CME, but we didn't get any kind of like big gigantic geomagnetic storm from it. So those rotated off, right? It took it about 2 weeks after it rotated off. Now it's back here again. It survived, I think. And we do have a model we can look at. I need to go get that model. I don't know where to go look at it at. I think I could probably go over to Dr. Tamitha Scove's page, and in her description box, she's got links there for those models. It's not one that's just going to be thrown out there like in the bottom of NOAA Weather Prediction Center, like over here. where you can come over here and scroll down, and you can see all the links to a lot of the models, a lot of the dashboards, that kind of thing. I don't think that particular model is, because it's a seismic detector model, basically, for the sun. Yes, there are quakes on the sun. They're not earthquakes, because the sun is not a rock. We are, right? But the sun does have seismic activity, and the vibration of the sun changes. And somehow they've been able to figure out how to map out what the backside of the sun looks like using that data. That's amazing to me. And they're getting very good at it. The models are getting really good at showing us what's happening. How do we know that? Well, because when it crests over the limb here, it matches what it said it looked like. And so, yeah. But anyway, guys, that thing, I think, survived the backside. Now, it takes about 2 weeks, guys, for that to happen. After it crests over here, it'll go across the back of the side of the sun, and then it'll come over here, right? Now, sometimes those times vary, because if this sunspot was more equatorial, the equatorial part of the sun rotates faster than the polar areas. Okay, again, it's not a rock. It's plasma and whatever else it's got in the core, right? And they're not even sure exactly what it is, guys, so I'm not even going to have that discussion. But what I will say, guys, is that that's the reason we see sunspots horizontally on the sun. Because the equatorial region from here to here, basically, rotates faster than the pole regions. So you got your magnetic connection lines on the sun, basically like we have here, the North and South Pole, right? Now, it is a lot more complicated than what I'm getting ready to tell you. I'm keeping it very basic, all right? So you got basically a bar magnet, positive, negative. Well, because the rotation speed is different in equatorial regions, it takes it some time. But when we had the polarity flip on the sun and the new sun cycle starts, right, after the termination event, what you see is that resets, and those magnetic field lines become straight vertical again, until you start factoring in the equatorial spinning factor that's faster, rotation factor. So over time, they start doing this. Okay, and then eventually they start doing this. All right, so that's why we see sunspots where we see them. Because you're getting, what a sunspot is basically is a kink in that magnetic line, and it pops through the surface. Okay? You can think of it like a rubber band. Twist it around and pull on it, and you see those little kinks pop up with the rubber band? That's essentially, kind of what you're seeing with your eyeballs here. Obviously, it's not a rubber band, but that's just to give you a visual of what's actually happening with the sunspots. But through time, this whole area where the sunspots line up, they migrate towards the equator. And the reason why is because the equatorial regions rotates faster. So over time, it just starts pulling those lines, and the sunspots get closer and closer and closer. And then we have the termination event, basically when they meet, and the polarity flip happens on the sun, and everything resets. Okay? So that's how that happens. And it's a very basic way to explain it to you guys. You can get so deep in that, it'll take you a long time to learn all the ins and outs. Obviously, I don't know all the ins and outs yet either. I'm still learning. But like I said before, Dr. Timothy Scove over there has got tons of videos to go over there and watch. And she says it in ways that you can understand it, guys. She don't try to just throw word salad at you. There's times where you got to use big words, but she explains them. She uses stuff like slinkies and stuff to show people. I mean, you just don't get that kind of stuff everywhere. A lot of people just want to come out here and just try to show you how smart they are. I don't think that's her goal. I don't think it ever has been. She just wants people to understand what space weather is, and she's pushing it out there the way she's doing it. And it's awesome. So, yeah. Anyway, also, I think it's Millersville University. That's where she's a professor at. And I think she kicked off their space weather program there. But anyway, I know I sound like I'm talking about her a lot, but the fact of the matter is, I've learned a lot from her, okay? And I've learned a lot from other people too. So don't get it twisted. right? But I like to give credit where credit's due, and that deserves a lot of it. And I wouldn't push you guys over there unless I thought it was the right thing to do, and you would be getting accurate information and accurate and able to understand it. She's not going to try to talk over your head. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, enough of that. So again, guys, 5 X flares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, yesterday, guys, remember this one happened, the biggest one of the sun cycle? I believe it was an 8.8, 8.9. Some people were calling it an 8.6. I don't know what the exact number here is exactly, but it got close to a R4 radio blackout storm. Okay, that's the closest we've ever came this sun cycle. So, what's that mean? Well, there's certain things that happen between R3 and R4 storms. Right now, we're in a radiation storm currently because of that CME that blew off over here on this side. Okay? Again, it did that whole effect. The protons got grabbed and it drug it back to us. But every time you get a flare, R1, if you get an M-class flare, by proxy, you have an immediate radio blackout of some sort. It may not be very big. It may not be in a large area. But if you come over here and look at this model, this is what you're going to see. Okay, so this may show one of the X flares. I'm not sure. Nope. So this gives you just a few hours here, guys. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours. We don't get much time here. I think we can go back and look historically, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I've shown this a bunch. This thing will light up. And wherever this is the day side of the planet. So why is it important? I explained this yesterday too. It messes with ham radio operators big time. Okay? That's our first responders. We had reports of tornado warnings and things going out almost 10 minutes late because of they had outages like that. Now, I don't know if it was an internal system that was being affected. I'm not sure but the timing of the flares lined up with both of those, 2 days in a row. So if I've got an F4, F5 tornado heading my direction, and I get that warning 10 minutes late, guess what? I'm not getting that warning because it's going to be on my head. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Stuff like this matters. It really does. It's kind of irritating when people say, oh, this stuff is just a nothing burger. All right, well, okay. You can keep saying that. It's okay. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and that's what we're going to do here. And I'm not going to play things up either. So that's the other thing that you're not going to get here is those kinds of things. But, yeah. So this particular part of the sun, that sunspot right there, is something we are going to have to watch. This thing is producing X flares already. Okay? With that being said, we've got about a week or two of that thing that's going to be facing us. So let me back it up here so you guys can see this. This is not just your typical X flaring either, I want to say. Okay? This is one of those that is long duration. And it produced an immediate CME. Check this out. Look, you see that? That's not just X-ray going out. That is plasma. When you see those arcs and those bands, not the real bright light, that's plasma, guys, getting ejected from the sun. Now, it shows up better in different angstroms of light, right? And I've explained that a bunch, too. But you see how that happened? The CME, this is what was so important about Dr. Carrington. When he figured out, when the Carrington event happened, and he drew that sunspot, remember? This is when they started to differentiate and understand that a flare was different than a CME. The coronal mass ejection and a flare are two different things. And in this particular instance, it doesn't always happen like this one just did. And what I'm saying here is, if we run that back, like right there, look what happens here. Yeah, you're getting a bit of a flare right there, but then you get a big plasma eruption, and then look what happens after that. There's the biggest ejection from the flare. There's your X-ray. It happened after the CME. The maximum amount of X-rays was being produced after the CME was ejected. Now, a lot of times you get this big flash from a flare because they're impulsive, and then you'll get the CME. Not this time. Okay? It was backwards. So we have to understand that there is a difference. They do different things to us when they hit. Like I said, when we're looking at X-ray, we look at this right here. That's how they measure how big a flare is. A, B, C, M, and X. Right now, we're hanging in the C-class range. So it doesn't take much of an increase of X-ray to get us to R1 radio blackout storms. That's considered an M-class flare. Okay? During solar minimum, an M-class flare is a big deal. Okay? Because we simply just don't have things going on. And when that happens, you got a bigger spike. Why? Why do we see a bigger spike? Because the baseline is down here. During solar minimum, I've seen it below. I've actually seen it down here. It's crazy. There just is not that much X-ray being produced during solar minimum. So to put that into perspective and why I think that matters, if you were to take this part of the graph right here, take this section and pull the baseline down to here, these two right here would not have even hit M-class range. Okay? Now, well, I say that. It's not necessarily true like that in the sense that I just said it. You can still get that blast of X-ray because it's going to read the maximum number. It just doesn't know where it came from. Okay? It can't tell me that it came, this graph here can't tell me what part of the sun it came from. So it's going to give us that high reading because it did. It wouldn't matter where the baseline is on that. It would still went to the same level on that one flash. But if we're getting it from multiple different sunspots, that's when that baseline, in my opinion, might matter just a little bit more. Okay? And if I confuse you guys on that, I apologize. That's kind of a hard thing to kind of explain. I try to keep it, you know, a little bit more simple than that because, frankly, guys, I mean, we need to understand this at a basic level before we go any further than that. And, you know, my channel here, and I said this a bunch, you know, when you watch me, maybe I'm the kindergarten teacher. I don't know. You know, and that's a shot at myself, not anybody else. But there's a lot of people out there that have so much more knowledge than me. And I've already said all their names tonight. So, well, and before. So go check all those people out because you really will learn. And that's why I leave them in my subscription list. That's why they're on my awesome channel list. I don't have an ego. I don't have anything like that. I don't care, right? I just want people to have the information. And that's why I'm doing this. So, anyway. Now, this is the 304. And this is what we look at when we see magnetic filaments, right? And we are able to see, like, when space is, like, when we get an eruption over here, if there's a big CME, visually, this particular angstrom of light will give us a very good look at, like, the plasma part of it ejecting out, okay? So let me just show you guys this one real quick because I haven't looked at it yet. But I would assume we're probably going to see some sort of eruption there. Well, I've seen a little from a different spot there. Let me back it up. Okay, so watch what happens here. Do you see that? I know it's kind of hard to see right there. And the reason why we can't see it very well is because it still is partially on the back side. So this X flare right here hasn't even crested over yet. That X flare we got from that, which was this one, that's like an X3, I think, or an X4. That right there would have been a lot stronger because the sun occulted basically blocked probably about a third of the X-rays right there that were going to be produced. You see that? Now, I can't say for certain exactly what that number would be because, frankly, honestly, it really doesn't matter because it didn't hit us, right? But at the same time, it's nice to know what we got coming. And so that's what I'll just say that. Now, also, guys, I've been seeing a lot of stuff, people saying that these are like, whatever, laser beams or or whatever. Let me just say this, okay? First off, if that was the case, why would they be completely straight vertical and match the side here. Okay? You see what I'm saying? They are parallel with the side, number one. That should give you a clue of what's going on here. And they don't always line up like that, but the fact that they're that straight, do you guys understand what kind of distance we're talking about from here to here? It's a long way, okay? That line, if it was anything like that, would not be completely straight like that, in my opinion. But again, and I know, I get it. It looks really strange, but it is going right there, and you can see it start to get a little bit brighter. But if you pay attention, check it out. What's being said is that laser beam is hitting the sun right here, causing the X-flare. Guys, that X-flare started before that line appeared. Watch. See it? It's already started right there. Now watch. Boom. There's your light. Okay? It's just a camera anomaly, guys. It's how the camera sees it. Just saying. You know, maybe somebody might have a different opinion. If the light was there well before that flare started, I don't know. But I'm just telling you that, in my opinion, that's just what it is. That's how I see it, okay? And it's okay if you don't believe me on that, or if you don't agree, I guess is probably a better word. It's all right. No, I'm not in any way, shape, or form upset about that. I just want you guys to know that when we look at this is what I do. You know, the flare started first, and then the light came. So it's not anything like that, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, only reason why I'm bringing it up, I've seen like 20 channels talking about that. It was kind of crazy to me. You know, it didn't upset me or nothing. I just found it really kind of odd. But again, I understand. If you don't understand the model, which is why I do what I do. If you don't understand the model and how these cameras work, you most definitely would think that that was something. No joke. I'm just saying. But once you understand how the model works, then you might have a different opinion. So that's all I'll say. I'm just going to drop that. I don't like even talking about that stuff because it really doesn't forward what we're trying to do here. But I did want to mention it because it was talked about a lot. But anyway, I will keep moving here. And you see these? Those magnetic lines are really stretching out there pretty good. Okay? Now I want to say this too. You guys see this dark area? That's a pretty large filament. And it looks like it might be starting to destabilize. And if that thing lifts off right here, in other words, explodes out as a CME, it's going to hit us. Okay? Most likely. That's a large one. I'm only bringing it up because of that. There's another one up here kind of draping across. They're all over the place, all over the sun. But with us having X-flares everywhere, the stabilization of the sun is not in the most stable place, right? So I'll just say that part. Now, again, we had an X-flare here, over here, and then this area of the sun flared, right? Now, we'll look at it here on the 94, and I'm showing you guys this one because look at the time. This is the 15th, the 5th month, 1,500 hours at 5. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, but we got two decent sized X-ray bursts from opposite sides of the sun. Okay, these are those sunspots that both of them were X-flaring. Okay, but we also had this one kind of chime in too yesterday. So just so you understand that. So, but you can see how our old friend over here that really had a big part in our G5 storm we had is still not happy. That dude needs to go take a nap on the backside. That's all I'm saying. He needs to get out that little rug in kindergarten and take a nap. That thing needs to calm down. So I'll back it up here and we'll look at the whole, because we kind of get a good idea of everything that's going on. You'll find if you go over here and look at these models, you'll see that different angstroms, you'll have a different amount of time in between each image. Okay, these are not a movie. Well, technically they call them that, but they are basically, it's a slideshow at high speed. Okay, because if you look at the time frame here, right, We got 2300 at 4 minutes 12 seconds, I believe, or maybe that's not. Yeah, 4 minutes 12 seconds. Okay, watch. I'll go forward one image. It jumped 10 minutes. See that? So we're getting like a 10 or a 12 minute break in between each image here, and it's just like an old flip book when you were in like elementary in art class, right? And you did the stick figure thing and made it do things, and like the basic of making cartoons, that kind of thing. That's kind of what you're doing here, guys. This is more so that than a movie at 60 frames a second. Okay? That's not what we're getting here. I think they get it a little bit better than what we're allowed to see it at. I know that Stereo A, when it puts its data in, the first time you see the data, it's at a lower resolution because of that, and then they actually upgrade it like 3 days later and give you a better resolute image of it. But you can see, watch. I mean, the sun is just firing everywhere. Look at that one. See, that was the one yesterday. That's the biggest one of the cycle. Over here on the right side. Is it going to show it or not? Okay, hold on. Because they both played a part in that flare. Okay? Okay, so you get there, right there, see? That's the flare yesterday. And then it's like minutes later, it calls it the flare here. So that's the long duration part. This here was not long duration. The second flare, because we can't pinpoint exactly where it comes from on the X-ray graph here. But that's why you see this tail off. The one on the right side, if that second flare hadn't happened, you wouldn't see this yellow part. It would have just went up and straight down, more similar to this one. Why do I say that? Because this flare here is, I'll show it to you. Okay, so let me back it up a little bit more here. Right there. See that? That's the other flare. That's the one right before it. So, yeah, I just want you guys to understand that, because the long duration has to happen in a way like that. It can happen. It happens all the time, like from one area. But those two combine to make that big flare. Just so you guys understand that. Now look at that one. In my opinion, man, I mean, this thing here just looks way more intense than these two combined even did. And I know that the X-ray didn't come in as high as this is, but I'm telling you guys, in my opinion, that thing is way more powerful than that one. It just visually, just judging visually, because I ain't got anything else to back that up. But you guys can see it just like I can. And look at that. Wham. I mean, look at the massive amount of plasma that got ejected out. Okay? So let's go over here to SOHO. Right? Here's the Earth. Here's SOHO satellite, a million miles closer to the sun. Always from our perspective, always out in front of us, always looking at the sun. It orbits the sun with us at the same amount of days. It's moving slower because it's closer to the sun, but it's still moving the same amount of degrees when you're thinking of it in that way. It's from our perspective. So if I take you guys back to the 14th, I sent a short little video over to Dex and my moderators and stuff like that. Earlier on, was it today? Last night, early morning, okay? Who we get here, member? Rita Clements, good to see you. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I hope to be able to earn that. I really do. But check this out, guys. This is one day. There were 6 eruptions. I mean, you just can't make that kind of stuff up. This is not, I mean, this is solar maximum, okay? I expect to see this from time to time during solar maximum. But these are not like little burps on the sun. I mean, the sun's throwing up. I'll just say it like that. It's really getting to the point where it's producing very powerful shots multiple times a day. So, you know, simple math will tell you, just like last week, we can't dodge them all. But check this out. This is today. Okay? Watch this. All right? Check that out. Ain't that crazy? Boom, boom, boom. And we're even missing a little bit of data here, I think. So if I take you back, if you guys ever go over here to Soho, please scroll down. You see this right here? What this tool is for, it's supposed to detect the CME. Okay? So it actually will highlight. Now, if you want to know what the colors mean, look right here. The wider it is, they use the red color. If it's in the middle, 60 to 120 degree range, sweep, wide, they use that color. It's orange for me. It may be different on your display. If it's a width less than 60, is in black. Okay? And when you click on these, if you go over here, all you got to do is click here. Click this number here. Watch. See? So all you do is you get 13 frames. See that? It narrows it down for you if you want to look at them individually. Okay? So that is a big eruption. That's pretty powerful. Okay? We talk about a halo. What's a halo? This is a disc on the camera. It's a physical disc. We can't see behind it. It has to be there to block a lot of the light from the sun so we can get an image at all. So when we see the energy pop out around the whole occulter disc, that's called a halo because of it just visually looks like a halo. That's the only reason. There is no scientific reason for that. It's just the way that it is. Okay? The way that it looks. It's a lot like when we talk about a cannibal CME. Cannibal CMEs, the one behind it, does not catch up and eat it. Okay? They don't combine. And I've explained that 1,000 times. It's like the first CME is the wall. The second CME is the shovel. And in between them, when the wall's sitting there and you're going towards it with that shovel, the second CME is moving faster so it catches up with the wall, right? The snow, this has that plow effect and builds up in between there. Those two CMEs don't touch. They don't. There's magnetics there. Hey, Mr. Floyd, thank you for the gifted membership. Who got that one? Karina. Welcome to the Kool-aid Krew. Welcome to the Kool-aid Krew, baby. Heck yeah. Or what were we calling it? I forget. Super something, squirrel something. Can't remember. We had some big abbreviation, but we'll talk about that more tomorrow during the members only. But okay, so anyway, that's what a halo is, guys. That's all it is, because it's visual, right? Now, there's also something called a canyon of fire. We use that term. It's not a fire. It's not a canyon of fire. The sun is not fired, okay? Not in the sense that you think. You got to have oxygen for fire, guys. Okay? And I don't know if there's... Yeah, I'm not even going to get down in discussion. But what happens is we'll get these eruptions that look like a canyon of fire opens up. We see it on this particular image, right? The 304. And we'll get a big eruption, and then it'll look like a canyon of fire just fills back. And a lot of times it almost immediately fills back in. But it's just an effect that we see. So they called it a canyon of fire, even though technically it's not. Okay? So I would just say that to clarify. Now, if I back this up, I just wanted to show you guys this. I haven't done this in a minute, guys, okay? I haven't shown you guys how to get to these models, and I'm sorry for that. Because I really do think I want you guys, I know I want you guys to come do this. That's my whole goal. I want you guys to be able to look at this stuff without me having to tell you exactly what's going on. In case I'm not here to tell you exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? And you can go look for yourself. To start clicking buttons and reading. That's how I had to do it. And you guys are smart enough. I get a lot of emails saying I just can't understand this kind of stuff. I'm too stupid. Let me tell you something. Nobody is too stupid, number one. The fact that you emailed me wanting to learn stuff like that and said something like that tells me you're not stupid. You're smart enough to know that you want to learn about this because it matters, right? So don't sell yourself short. Please don't. You guys are smart people. I've learned so much from you guys. Way more than I could ever have dug into myself. So just understand you can understand this, guys. If you don't think you can, just try. And if you have questions, that's what I'm here for. And anybody else, my moderators will help you. People in the chat that have been here for a long time will help you. Go to the other channels I tell you to go to. They'll help you, I promise. And you can understand it. Don't matter your age, your sex, your any of that, okay? You can do it. So, now, if we go back over here to seeds, I want to show you today. Now, again, it's going to be wigging out there a little bit. We're getting missing data is why that does that. We're not going to be able to see this other one here. I'm not sure why the data's not there, but it's just not. I do want to take you back to the 12th, though, because I want to show you guys this one more time. We did have a sun diver here on the 12th. Okay? I'm going to pause it and show you what I mean. Right about there. Okay. It's right here. You see this? So let me, I'll back it up. You see how it's moving? Now, my eyes catch these things because I see them all the time. Okay? I watch this model all the time. So with that being said, you can see how that's moving towards the sun, right? Now, I can't tell you 100% if the sun ate that thing, if it crashed into it, or if it was a sun grazer and it got slingshot back out. I didn't see it come back around the other way, but it's not saying that it didn't, okay? But I watch these models so much that I pick up stuff with that with my eye. Just because it's moving in a different direction than the rest of the background stars, okay? So when you come over here and you watch these models, you'll see, like right there, it makes it even harder because we're having a radiation storm and those particles are just bombarding the detector, okay? So anyway, you got that. So there's that CME, or that sun diver. It's probably a small little comet. I guess it could have been an asteroid or whatever, but they call them sun divers. Because they typically, guys, the sun diver don't ever make it to the sun's surface. The solar wind and all the heat and stuff just eats it up. Okay? Look at that. We got us a stormtrooper. Oh my gosh. Flip that 180 degrees. That looked like a big ghost face. You know, our brains are like seasoned to do that. That's a natural thing for our brain to do. Make faces and stuff, because we recognize faces, right? It doesn't mean that that's there for that reason. I'm just saying that that's, our brains go there. That's why when you look up at the clouds, you can see all kinds of crazy things. But, okay, now, I guess what we'll do is just this, okay? Listen, I really think that we need to be paying attention this week, okay? As this one over here, this sunspot is rotating in, we're going to be dealing with this one for a good amount of time. Now, is it going to continue to do this? I don't know. But what I can say is we have that other big sunspot that is powerful enough that can be blasting X-flares off the backside, and we've already seen it destabilize enough of the sun that it caused these things to happen on the other side. So with that being said, we have a sunspot harboring enough energy to blast these big X-flares. And if this one over here is still doing it, it could destabilize in a way when that thing's right in front of us. So once it gets to here, I really start paying attention to it, okay? Because any CME with that most likely is going to have an Earth-directed component. Whether it's a glancing blow, I don't know. But when it gets here, this rectangle right here on the sun, this imaginary rectangle, that's called the Earth strike zone, right? Anybody that's ever watched baseball, you ever watched a baseball game and they put that like transparent box there during the game and you can see where the strike is? That's kind of what I'm saying right here. Okay? Anything that happens inside that area has a very good chance of hitting Earth. And what we're seeing here hitting Earth is significant. Okay? Hey, Cul-de-sac, good to see you. Yeah, Timoth is awesome. I mean, I just can't say enough. Hey, Ricky. Oh, my God. I forgot to download those pictures again. Sorry. I think I even emailed you back. I'll show those pics again, guys. Tomorrow. Ricky's got them. I think she's got them on her channel. Go check them out over there. Yeah, Trinity's awesome. I would imagine Marf is live already. I haven't been on here for a minute. Yeah, he is. Did he start? Yeah, he started about says a minute ago. So guess what, guys? We're going to go ahead and end this because I really don't have a whole lot more to talk about today other than that. But, well, look at this. Dr. Tony Phillips is over here talking about this. That was an X3. Okay? This is the same size flare that instigated a lot of the G5 storming last week. Remember, the flare that caused this was only an X3. So I'm not going to get into that discussion right now because we've been on for long enough. But, yeah. So, members only, listen to me. If you're not a member, I'm sorry. I wish I could do more. But if you're not a member, listen to what I'm saying right here, okay? What I want to do real quick is, daggone it. Let's just get all that. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, oops. Sorry about that. What I want to do is going to show you. Okay, what I want you guys to do, I need you guys to do me two favors, okay? Come back to this video. Leave me a comment if you would, please. It helps more than you could ever know. Also, let me say this to you right now, okay? This is the last time I'm going to mention it because tomorrow I'm drawing for these cards, okay? Come down to this video right here. As a matter of fact, we're going to share it. We'll copy it, okay? I'm going to put it in the live chat here in a second. All right? Actually, I'll do that. Oops. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this thing in the live chat, this link, okay? Come on, live chat, pop up. There we go. All right, there you go. Come back to that video. Come back to this one, please. Do me a favor. If you're going to do that, this one down here, please do this one too. It really does help the channel. But if you do that, come back to this video. Let's just back it up some here, okay? Come back to this video, leave me a comment. Tomorrow, I've got a random number generator. I haven't even looked to see how many comments we've got. I'm going to give away at least 2 decks of cards. We've got 91 comments. If we can get that up to 150, I will give away 3 decks of cards, okay? And they're very cool cards. If you want to see what the cards look like, hey, Full of Hope, good to see you. Thank you for that. Stephen A, got a membership, baby. Heck yeah. No fan sounds? Love it. We ain't got no fans. Yeah, audio better now? Yeah, I've been working on it, man. I have been working on it. Unless this is the other video. I'm sitting here talking about chat on a different video. Look at that. Look at that. See, I'm talking to people that already been here. That's embarrassing. But yeah, I did get rid of the fan sounds. Let's just go down here. Anyway, if you want to know what the cards look like, right here. See that right there? They're bicycle cards. My wife found some, and they've been discontinued. The Sunspot ones have, and but they're really awesome. I had a couple decks already, but my wife found a brick of them, So I'm going to be giving some away, and I've got a bunch of other ones too of this. They did a whole series called Stargazer, and it's very cool stuff. So I'm going to be giving it away. So please come back and leave me a comment there. If we get to 150 comments, I'll give away 3 decks. If not, I'll give away 2. I'm going to give a couple away tomorrow during my members only live stream. And again, members, I am sorry. Last week, I'm not really apologizing for last week because we had a lot of stuff going on. I forgot I had that thing to go to tonight, or I would have already done this. Also, you guys see this? 1,000 videos, baby. I hit that yesterday. And I have to say thanks to Marf, Adam, and Dex, everybody over there at Marfugal. He shouted me out yesterday. He was almost excited that I got over 60K subscribers. He was almost excited as I was. It's been a long time coming for me to get to that number. I got to like 58,000 and I kind of stalled out. And it happens. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But we maintained, and I also had a period of time there where I couldn't upload as often, so that usually decreases the number a little bit. And I don't usually pay much attention to the numbers, but this right here matters to me. And let me tell you why. Because that's telling me that I'm reaching people, and that's my thing, right? If that number is just sitting still, or if it's going down or whatever, that's, you know, I would have to tell you, I would be lying to you if I said that didn't bother me. Because that's one of the indicators we can look at to see how well we're doing here. If people are liking the stuff, if we're doing this, we're doing that. We can look at a whole bunch of different analytics. Sometimes we can look at too many analytics, and a lot of people get stuck on that. And I don't want my channel ever to be like that. It's always going to be about getting the information out to you guys over whatever is good for the channel, okay? That's just always going to be the priority here. But if I can do both at the same time, I will. You know, why else am I here if I'm not going to try to grow the channel? I don't understand the other way of thinking. You know what I mean? Do I want just to stop growing and nobody else hear what I got to say? Well, I might as well just shut it off if that's the case. Right? So, guys, please just come back and leave a comment on this one and on the other one. Look for the dad joke. Steve always, the seventh son, always leaves us a dad joke, and I pin it to the top of the comment sections. So, all right, guys, get over here to Marf. I'll tell you what I'll do here. I'll make it easy for you. Let's do this. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Don't leave yet. I know about half my people already left because they could hear me getting ready to shut the stream off. Okay, I think he's on Marfugal News right now. Yeah, he is. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab this. We're going to share that. We're going to copy that. Hit that there. Go back to my channel. Okay. Go back here. And here we go. Here we go. Come on, chat. Here it is. Here is Marf's link. When you guys get over there, tell them Wages World said hi. Trying to, I want to give back. Just because people are bigger than you doesn't mean we shouldn't still promote their channel also. So, there are probably a few people here that don't know who Adam and Dex are. But please get over there, guys. It's great stuff. He'll do another live stream on his Marfugal TV channel here in a little while. He's probably even got it posted. So what we can do there is do the same thing. He may not. I don't know. We'll see. Let's look. Does it say upcoming? Yep, right here. So I'm going to put the link to that there also. But if you guys go over there, again, tell him Wages World sent you. And, yeah. So I'm going to put the link here in the chat again for you guys. I know the last 10 minutes of this was not really space weather, but just try to do what's right, guys, Actually, I put that in March. Did I put that in March? Nope, that's on mine. Okay. All right. But there's the one to the Marfugal TV. So, hey, Miss V, good to see you. Oh, man, your cell phone went down? That sucks. Hey, Ripper. Yeah, you're right, Ripper. For sure, man. And let me tell you something, guys. Get over and check out Rip and Trinity. Rip does an awesome job on his channel. Guys, let me tell you something. I've never had a friend as upstanding as Rip is. You guys just don't even have a clue what happens in the background sometimes. And those of us that really do take care of each other, he's one of them. And I just have to say thank you, brother. Love you like a brother for sure. So, you know, and I feel that way about a lot of people. You know, hey, Ron, good to see you, bud. Good to see you. But everybody get over and check out all his channels. I am going to go ahead and kick off here, guys. God bless. Yahushua saves. And, yeah, you can drink this Kool-Aid. Tastes great, tastes great. Kool-Aid, can't wait.